Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to another video. Are you in a space where you're wondering what happened to your thick skin? Like you see these people walking around after the trauma of their relationship or the trauma of their family system, and they just have this thick skin. Like nothing bothers them, nothing can waver them, nothing really, affects them. You don't see them in tears or in shambles over in the corner, and you're like, wait a second. So I've heard that, the person who's gone through the toughest battle becomes the toughest soldier. And I've heard that, what didn't kill me made me stronger. But how I'm feeling right now is that I don't have this thick skin that everyone else is talking about. I'm actually, in fact, even more empathetic to other people and even more aware and sensitive to other people's emotions. Well, I just want to encourage you by letting you know that not everybody develops thick skin as a part of their trauma. In fact, thick skin can also be a metal that people wear on the outside when really what they're doing is building walls on the inside. So people say, well, you get stronger because of your battle, when really what those people are more capable of doing is building a barrier around themselves so that they're not harmed. They become less capable of being vulnerable. They become less capable of being authentic, and they only let certain people in, and they kind of live in this space inside themselves where they're continuously protecting their innermost being from the people around them. And that's not really a way to live. And it's also not really a medal to be carried around and worn. And I'm not saying that anybody who experiences a greater feeling of emotional strain after a traumatic experience is better or less than another person. But what I am saying is you weren't ever intended to go through the trauma that you've been through. I know that it can be part of God's plan, but your emotional and your psychological well-being was not um as a result of the trauma. That's a result of the work that you've done after the trauma, but it wasn't a result of the trauma itself. So, in order to get healed after trauma, you have to actually do the healing. And developing thick skin is actually a symptom of pain and not really a symptom of healing. So, if you're one of those people where you didn't develop thick skin, you didn't build walls around your heart and you didn't build walls around your vulnerability, and you have that yearn and craving to be vulnerable with other people and truly authentic to other people, just understand that trauma doesn't really make you stronger. And for some of us, it makes us more empathetic and more emotional. And whatever that reality is for you, that's part of what you're supposed to use when you're in your next situation. And I'm not saying that we're walking around here crying all the time and we're always in our emotions, but it makes us empathetic, like and it makes us see the people who aren't. So if you're in a space today where you feel like, you're a little punk, or you're overly emotional, or you've even been told that in your relationship, like you're just overly emotional about everything, I want you to remember that when people say you're overly emotional, they never cite the emotions that they're actually using. They only cite the ones that are in opposition to them. So when you're overly emotional and it causes you to be more empathetic to them, they won't say that that's a problem. But when you're overly emotional and it causes you to hold them accountable, then they will say that that's a problem. The same thing is true of those people who've developed thick skin. Everyone claims that that's, this great um, prize from leaving a traumatic relationship for some people. But the reality is that it's only a prize until you're the person who needs that person to be vulnerable and open to you, and they haven't done it, and they won't do it because they're afraid of getting hurt again. And now it's a problem that they've developed the thick skin. Now they're hardened and callous, and they won't open up to you. So I say all of that to say it's not about developing thick skin. It's not about being overly emotional. It's about thinking about how this traumatic situation has hurt you and assessing your unique experience and response to this situation and developing a healing plan and a healing journey that will take you to your next phase of life and your next season of life healed. And the only way that you can do that is to, just like in Shrek, pull back the layers of that onion and continue to see this thing is the thing right now that's coming to the top of the surface for me. And I really want to heal this thing. And then when that's healed and you start to see the other things, then you'll want to heal those things as well. But the thicker you build your armor and fortress around yourself to keep yourself safe, the more incapable you'll become of being vulnerable because you'll get complicit and you'll feel completely taken care of in that safe space of not allowing anybody in. And the flip side of that is the more empathetic and understanding you are of other people's emotions, the more merciful you are to other people. And sometimes that causes you to be a stepping stone for people, and you're always giving them excuses and assessing their why. So instead of going to these two extremes and trying to find which way that you want to walk out of this situation, realize that no one walks out of trauma unscathed, and that now there needs to be a specific healing plan created just for you by taking inventory, assessing the situation, and continuing to find your healing path that's authentically true to you and how you've responded to your situation. If you're ready to get on that healing journey, make sure that you reach out to me on my social media platforms so that I can assist you in that process. And if you listened to this video and it was helpful to you, make sure you like and subscribe to the page and share this video with someone else. Remember, knowledge gained and kept to yourself is selfish, but when you share it with other people, you are giving yourself the ability to break them free from the bondage that's keeping them stuck in the space of pain and not on their path of healing. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time.